All right. Oh shit, hold up. My handy dandy whistle. Oh, stop! Welcome everyone to the next station. Let's start tonight with you, Caleb. How do we prevent tonight from being yet another tie? There are 8 votes, which means a tie is always possible. How do we prevent ourselves from going to rocks yet again?
I think it's laughable you've asked me this question, considering my vote has basically been negated the last three stations I've attended. So if anything, it feels targeted, and I don't appreciate it. Um, but how do we prevent it? I think this immunity challenge was almost handpicked by Prod to prevent it, or maybe incentivize it. But with people losing votes, gaining extra votes, and some people just, you know, having I guess the immunity necklace go on a wandering journey, almost like Flat Stanley. That's a throwback. I think communicating is a big one, and then just knowing where votes are actually gonna go, which the last two rounds clearly we didn't talk enough about because we let a wheel decide who's gonna go home.
Austin, you were involved in one of the many ties that took place at the last station. Where do you feel you stand tonight? Did the wheel work in your benefit or are numbers against you?
Uh, yeah, the wheel did work in my benefit because my name wasn't on any of the wheels. So I guess I liked it. I didn't go home. um, I think you asked another question and I totally forgot it. Oh,
Yeah.
how do I feel? I feel
Yeah.
fine.
All right. Ketty, we saw how people ranked in the White Elephant game. Do you think that where people are positioned revealed anything about who feels loyal to who in this game?
Thank you so much for that question, Topher. To start off with, I was actually very excited about the results because I'm all about having whole numbers, and being the only person with a whole number average really made my heart blossom. Thank you, everybody. I never got to individually say it to everyone, but thank you so much for working together to make my dream come true. Now, to the actual second part of our scheduled program. I think it's kind of similar to touchy subjects in a sense. I could see people going, what if I push this person further up my list or lower down my list? So maybe this person is probably perceived this way. I think the list is not always accurate. Maybe somebody put their trust rankings. We don't even know. But I think, especially in a challenge like this, it's very complicated because it could put an unnecessary target on somebody's back if it is completely random, or it could just be the luck of the draw. So I think it can be a little bit of both. But I definitely think in this challenge, especially with an immunity necklace on the line, I think that people were definitely probably thinking of who can I put on my list to get people that I trust more to pick later on so they probably have a better chance of getting something good in the competition.
Danny, you spent 12 hours in exile. How did that impact your game?
It didn't.
Oh,
And I will say it didn't in the aspect of I needed those 12 hours. I needed that moment in time period to really reflect on myself, who I am, who I was, because I play these games to learn a little bit about myself and how I play these games and what I can benefit from them. I've never, I chose to step into the OR community to meet people who I believe are intelligent as well as people who will challenge myself in different ways. And I think that from number 21 to whoever ends up being number one of this game, I've learned something no matter what. And that's where for that exile, it let me go figure out myself a little bit more. And that's where I was appreciative of it. It also put me in a situation that I'm glad that it happened when it happened because of just health wise. It was a good time for it to happen. But other than that, I just think that that was a something that needed to happen when it happened for me.
Tyler, made it to the final eight. Has the experience of the game, has there been enough playtime to really feel like you've experienced the game and now it's all about results, or is there still more to experience?
It's a great question, Topher. Um, I have gotten to check off a lot on my fake survivor bucket list. I had an idol that I got to keep secret from everybody and then play at the last tribal. I've gotten betrayed, which was unexpectedly not on, or it wasn't on my bucket list, but I'm happy that it happened. The feeling of understanding like, okay, I know that now I need to set my allegiance moving forward and navigate that and figure that out. Allowed me to reflect a lot on where I want to go in the game. So I think there's still a couple of things on my bucket list. Making jury was a low bar that I set for myself that I'm really proud of. And this is just final eight. I think over the past like 4 days, the game has picked up a lot, and there are a lot of conversations that still need to be had where I can position myself to continue moving forward. So I don't think that Final Eight is the last check mark on my bucket list, but if I'm blindsided and wrong, then that's where it is, and a blindside would be on the bucket list as well. So
Noah, how would you describe the the type of playing that is taking place in this game? If you were to characterize the way that people play season 7 of Kaleidoscope, how would you characterize that?
Um, I think that we're a bunch of badass bitches, and we're here to show that the seven deadly sins knows how to play a good fucking game. And I know my vote tonight is gonna play a big part in this station because I'm a badass bitch.
Which is ironic because Noah does not have a vote tonight.
Right, right. And have you ever been to Krispy Kreme, Topher?
Yes.
Was it crispy?
No.
Was okay. All right.
But shout out to Crispy. Anyway, Caleb. So as we are at the final eight, how do you start playing towards who's going to sit next to me and who is in my way to getting to the final two?
I think that's tough because there's still so many roadblocks out there, like the final five round with the conductor vote and potential advantages that are looming. So like I I don't know. I'm sh always struggling to kind of determine if there is a set like I don't like using this term. I feel it's a little disrespectful, but I don't know if there's like a set list of people that others are looking at to take to the end yet. I think maybe there are people that we want out. But for me, I'm just kind of grateful to be immune this round, especially after the last round where I had to draw a rock, knowing I don't have to worry about that this round. Um, because I don't want that worry again. And I I like knowing that the target's not aimed at me, this vote.
Austin, what is the biggest obstacle that one must overcome to make it to the end?
Everyone else. Let me actually answer your question. I'm so sorry. You have to, I feel like it's a delicate balance of like, I guess to respond to what Caleb is saying, you're right now, we're choosing who we don't want with us. But I think while we make that choice, we're also choosing who we want with us at the end as we vote people out. I don't think we realize that we're doing that, but that's actually once we get further and further to final two, I guess I heard you say that, final two, we're maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally making that choice. I know for myself, I haven't really started to rigorously think about that, but thank you for the polite reminder to start doing it.
Teddy, with as close as the last several votes have been, does the weight of every conversation matter? Do you feel like every time you talk to somebody, you have that opportunity to persuade them to vote the way you need them to?
It's really funny that you gave me that question because only like 4 people talk to me in total on this tribe. Like it's actually kind of insane to me.
Oh.
I feel like as the numbers dwindle down, it also dwindles down the actual number of people that talk to me. But like, yeah, I think that like what Austin was saying is kind of true that like every conversation does matter, right? Because even though there's such a divide right now, at some point later on in the game, it's not going to be like that. And I think for right now, a lot of people, even though you're looking at the end game, you're also looking out for yourself, right? Like you can't play the end game without getting to that point. And so part of it is trusting the people that you've established trust with to get you through these rounds. And then once you feel like you have good rapport, good momentum, that's when people start thinking, who can I be? Who would I be proud to sit next to at the end? There's a lot of different factors that go into this. So conversations do matter, whether you do or don't have conversations, because if you have it with the right person, it could be beneficial. But also, if you have a bad conversation and it gets back to that person, it could also be a bad thing. So in this game, it's kind of like a really, really long game of station telephone and trying to figure out the bits and pieces and how you can move forward in this game with every roadblock ahead of you.
Danny, divides have been mentioned, and the fact that it's been very close every vote. Are the lines very clear as to who is on what side, or is it something that changes from vote to vote?
I personally believe that I've said this a few times. This is a cast that plays how they want to play and does what is best for them in the moment that they are given, in the hand that they are given. And right now, there is no given chance that any of us should feel safe because of the way that we're all playing this game. We're all throwing each other's names. I ain't throwing that many names, but it is what it is. We're, I will say, this cast is doing what they need to do to get further in this game. And no one is at fault because that is what you're supposed to do in these games. Put yourself in the best situation to go forward. And if you can't do that, then stop playing. Go sit down and go to the jury house like you need to, or wherever you go. Anyway, with the rest of these people who are in this cast, if it goes how it goes, if I go, it is what it is. However, I think that each one of them are here playing their best hand, and it goes how it goes. And that's all I gotta say. Like I have no qualms. I have no ill regrets. I there's nothing that I want to say other than I don't want to go home. And I hope that whatever discussions that I had with the other players does benefit me and it does go the way that I want it to go. But if it doesn't and I do go home, it is what it is because that is what the name of the game is, to play your best hand. And I'm gonna walk in if I'm gone, I go into that jury house and I'm gonna be like rooting for whoever did the best. But right now, I don't think that I'm the one that's being looked at necessarily. So if it is what it is what it is. But if it's not, then we go into next round and we play how we play.
Tyler, do you find that most conversations revolve around people trying to sell you on why it shouldn't be them? Or do you find that most conversations revolve around specifically targeting certain people?
I think a balance of both, especially for me, the last like day and a half, I've been trying to help build relationships after what happened at the last station. So for me, it was, I don't have immunity. Am I in danger? And here's why my game is beneficial to keep for your game. Here's why me as a person makes sense to stay here. I've had both. I've had people reach out to me with strategic, here's who we should get out, here's why you should keep me. I've had people reach out emotional, here's my emotional strategy, here's emotionally why you should keep me. And I think that's a key part of how people are playing the game as well, is whether or not you're able to remove your emotions and say, hey, what does my gut tell me? And where do I need to go for my game, like Danny said, versus emotionally, I'm connected to these people. These people make the most sense for me right now because I like them and I'm with them. So I think it's a balance of both, and that allows both of those responses to happen. Whether it's, hey, I'm going to push for this person, they don't align with my emotional or strategic game, or hey, you should keep me. I align emotionally and strategically with you.
And last, Noah, when you don't have a vote to offer up as a tool at the station, what is in your toolbox to offer up for the round?
Um, Great question. The only thing I have at this point is my word, and my word, when I'm giving it to you, it's genuine. And when we have those conversations, like when I get to actually get to people on video calls, because it's been here and there with some people, I'm actually genuine on those calls. And I think my word can hold a lot of weight with some people because I feel like people genuinely listen to me when they're like having conversations to me and they're hearing me out and actually understanding without actually like doing any action in that, but that's still an action itself, exchanged through words. So does that make sense? That's how we're ending it. Let's go to the votes.
All right.
Can I go first?
Perfect. So on that note, it is going to be time to vote. But before I go to the voting booth and turn my microphone off and my camera off, I just want to see if anybody else has anything that they need to say. No?
Happy Sunday.
Let's cook,
Happy
ladies.
Sunday. Terrific. The only person you cannot vote for tonight is Caleb, as Caleb won immunity. Everybody else is up for grabs. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to mute myself. When I return, the next passenger is going to be left at the station.
I guess it's time for shout outs.
Wait,
Shout out
no,
to
Petty,
Juan.
wait.
What?
I was working on a bit. POV,
Okay.
wait, POV, this is me
This is me walking up to the tribal voting booth.
You're so messy. I can't. You can't vote.
Is that mirrored?
Have you seen the one on has anyone seen the one on Twitter where they edit it that says you can't vote, sit your ass down? It is the funniest one
No.
ever. Me
Okay.
to Noah.
Oh, shout out Karen and Jeremy and Cash Money Jet. Oh, don't. Okay.
Okay, so anyways, Noah cut me off. Shout out to Juan. I know you're probably not streaming tonight, but I'm hoping you're having a great day at work. I can't wait to catch up on our reality TV spoilers, and yeah, super excited. Can't wait to get those fantasy predictions in, especially with Survivor 48 coming.
Shout out to Noah Sweater.
Thank you. Shout out to Caleb's wife because he hasn't done it yet. Guess I'm the only one that cares.
Shout out to my wife. My
Right.
prod guests, my cousin.
Shout out to all my dogs at the crib, absolutely, and to the outstanding women of color that I got to recognize today. I hope they felt wonderfully celebrated and they're iconic.
Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Donnie. Shout out to Varsha.
I know Portia Briggs from Big Brother 13. I know that's right. Hello, Austin. Hello. Portia from Big Brother. Because she was on a season. She gave me a cameo. She in her cameo, she said, "Of course I support gay rights. I love you, my little twink." Mwah! Anyways.
Okay, but no shade. Shout out to the last 4 POC left in the game. Austin, myself, Ketty, and Sheena. No shade and no pink lemonade.
We're streaming.
Do I give a damn?
No, that was I was talking to Mitch. He said, "What are you doing?" We're streaming. I sent him the link. I'll mute myself. If everyone had to have an apple or an onion of the weekend, what would it be?
Well, we'll just have to wait because I have the votes inside of this fictional grimoire. But before I read the votes, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol or other relevant advantage that they would like to play, now would be the time to do so. All right, I'll read the votes. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The player with the most votes will have failed to get on board and thus must get off at this next station. You will have a moment to speak your piece and then must leave the Zoom immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Taylor. Danny. 1 vote Taylor, 1 vote Danny. Danny. 2 votes Danny, 1 vote Taylor. Taylor. 2 votes Danny, 2 votes Taylor. Danny. 3 votes Danny, 2 votes Taylor. Ketty. 3 votes Danny, 2 votes Taylor, 1 vote Ketty. The next passenger to have failed to get on board and must get off at this next station is Danny. Danny, you may now speak your piece.
I have nothing to say to any of you. And the reason why I will say that, I think you all are great players. You did a phenomenal job. I did not expect that whatsoever, and that was a phenomenal blindside. What I will say, that's all I will say. That's all I will say. Love you. So much love to each of you, even the other two who aren't here. So much love.
Thank
And y'all better make sure this season is still iconic, okay?
Thank you, Danny. We appreciate you. You have brought many a joy to many stations here, but it is your time to go. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, y'all. Love y'all. And I will not ruin anyone's game. That's all I will say, too. Play how you play. Oh, do I have to leave or do like?
You gotta leave the Zoom.
Ah, shit.
Leave
Sorry. I thought I was
the
gonna get cut out. Okay, bye.
Zoom. The Zoom immediately. All right, and to the rest of you, you have now made the final 7. This game is so close, yet so far away from being over, where only one of you will be crowned